Back, we're joined now by James Wilhite. You know, we're right in the middle of storm season. We're seeing storms pop up all over Texas. I mean, it was here kind of, it feels like last month before, and then in Dallas last weekend.
Yeah,
but
absolutely. That was bad.
At least behind a lot of storm damage, and we're talking today about how we can safely get rid of that and kind of pick up and move on. So thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, absolutely. And there's really a couple of things to consider there. Of course, you've got storm damage like that happened at Alto, and you've got a lot of building material and insulation and other things that are caught up in that. So be careful there. That's the obvious. Put on a respirator. Be careful not to inhale a lot of the dust and stuff. That's really not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is that debris that comes from a flood or comes from high water or the tree that's toppled in the wind. That sort of debris is what I'm referring to. And I've heard several times lately of people that all of a sudden reach into a pile of debris and come up with a copperhead stuck on their finger.
Ooh.
Yes, snakes and debris go together. So be very, very cautious about cleaning up that kind of debris without being gloved and without using a fork or a hoe, something to dig through that and find out, is there something in there that you really don't want to get a hold of. It could be a snake, it could be wasps, it could be just full of fire ants, but that's the sort of thing that you really have to pay attention to. All of those love debris, and we have lots of piles of that from not only toppled trees, but from heavy water that or high water that moved a heavy amount of debris into an area and kind of piled it up. That's a perfect location to find a snake. And nobody wants to find a snake. That's just not a pleasant experience.
So what do you try to check with first, other than
a long stick,
okay,
a fork, a hoe, a rake, anything other than your hand. And don't be so afraid that when you run across one that you hurt yourself running away. That's the important thing. Keep calm and don't reach in with your hand. Secondly, when you have a tree that has toppled down, it's not like a tree in the forest that the forester cut. There's still a heavy load on the root system, and the root system itself may still be attached and just barely enough to almost hang on. And what happens when you take part of that top away is you have now removed the load that's holding it down, and it may stand straight back up again. So be very, very careful. If that is in your yard and you're working on a tree, just be very, very careful that you don't put yourself in a position so that when that tree stands straight back up, that you're in the middle of the tree. That's just a real precaution, because a storm-dropped tree is nowhere near like a tree that has been cut with a chainsaw and dropped and has no chance of standing back up. It's that roots system that's in the ground that still has a lot of tension and spring-loaded and ready to stand back up. It just has the opportunity.
So if it does stand back up, is there any way to recover that tree, or do you need to then dig out the root system?
Well, you know, that's an excellent question. Honestly, yes. Those trees can be saved. Probably not going to be real successful, but by removing enough of the top, you can compensate for the amount of root that was lost, and you can recover many of those trees. Probably the largest, oldest trees, and that seems to be what we see drop. It's a shame, but the biggest, oldest trees have had root damage from the drought and from excessive rains, and they don't recover as quickly as a smaller tree. So those are typically the ones that have gone down, typically not going to be easy to save. A smaller tree, yes, but a big monster old granddaddy tree, probably not going to save that one.
All right, James, if people want to learn more information from you, where can they find that?
They can always look for us on the internet, find us, and call us. We'll be happy to answer questions, talk to them, WilhiteLandscape.com.
All right, thank you, James, so much for stopping by.
My pleasure.
All right, coming up after